A Radio 1 station. Boston's home for classic soul and R&B. 1090 AM. WILD. Boston.
All right, Truthfighter, 877-373-9766 as we remember Dr. King, as we celebrate his day. To all the parents, take this opportunity. I mean, literally, this is such an opportunity for you to be able to plant the seed in your children's head about Dr. King, because even from kindergarten on up, they're talking about Dr. King in these schools, and you'll be surprised at what they're teaching your kids about Dr. King that you may need to go in and clean up and make it a little bit more accurate. Let's go to line 7, Dean in Columbia, South Carolina, 6:20 a.m. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Warren, and bless you. I appreciate what you're doing. I admire what you're doing because you seek the truth. I'm going to talk as fast as I can. Mm-hmm. America, black people's got to wake up and stand up. Martin Luther King not only died for something, he stood for something. And right now we are falling for anything as a people. I would agree with what you said at the beginning of the show. He wasn't a punk.
Yeah, everybody wanted to make him passive, like he was this passive, innocent guy. Dr. King was no punk. We keep trying to romanticize him and make him seem like, hey, he was this nice, easygoing guy. Let me tell you something. Even in today's, right now, Reverend Sharpton, Minister Farrakhan, they ain't no punks. They not punks.
No.
I mean, you got to understand that when you're in a position where you're trying to help black people, you cannot be a punk, because you're going to have the government coming at you. You're going to have white folks coming at you. You're going to have black folks coming at you. So you got to have that resolve mentally in your mind that, no matter what, I'm persevering. It takes a strong-willed person to do that. And believe me when I tell you, a punk couldn't do it.
And just one other thing I want to point out, Warren, when you said that part about the excerpt from the Birmingham jail about, they said what he was doing was untimely. One of his points he put on being called untimely, he said that justice too long delayed is justice denied.
That's right.
And it's okay to have a dream. This dream was great, but if we don't stand up and let that dream live on, the dream is still alive, but it's stagnant. It's being stagnated by complacency, tokenism, our comfort zones.
Yep.
Our people suffer for a lack of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Got to get the word out.
Hey, brother. Thank you for the call. Now he said something very important, right? And see, this is what, if you listen to my show, right? I was doing an interview with AOL Black Voices, and they were interviewing me, and they were like, "Man, you like the next civil rights leader?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if I'm the next civil rights leader." I said, "But what I am is somebody that cares about people, especially poor people in this country." I said, "But everything that I'm suggesting, from banking black to creating a fund to give money back to our community to targeting our money," I said, "this isn't something that I can take credit for. Me talking about loving each other and believing each other and us speaking up when something is wrong, it's not nothing I can take credit for. This has been put into place by many people before I was even thought of, from Marcus Garvey to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Minister Farrakhan to Dr. King. All I'm doing is looking at the blueprints that they put out before I was even thought of and saying, God, you have blessed me with a platform. Why not use my platform to get the message to the masses? See, I think it's a waste of radio time and television time when these people are sitting up here and all they want to do is party and kick it and not try to empower when you got that platform. It's nuts to me, but I'm a little bit different because I'm not going to always speak the perfect English. I got a lot of hood in me. I'm not ashamed of that. But at the same time, I understand history. Listen to what Dr. King has said about the 4 girls murdered in Birmingham. And this is applicable today to you all.
Every Negro who refuses to go down to try to register and vote participated in that act. What murdered these 4 girls? The apathy and the complacency of many Negroes who will sit down on their stools of do nothing and not engage in creative protest to get rid of this evil system. What murdered these 4 young girls was a Negro business and professional individual who's more concerned about his job than he's concerned about freedom and justice.
And this is even true today. Today, we're so concerned about me that we're not thinking about we. And that's why all these kids are dying in the streets. This is why all this unemployment is here. This is why the family structure has been destroyed. When will we learn how to love ourselves and each other? 877-373-9766, talking to you right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
1090 WILDAF. WILD. Where information is power.
Giving the Truthfighters a voice in the call for justice. 877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Join the Truthfighters in full effect right now. Right now. Right now. Right now.
All right, Truth Fighters, you know what? Let me give you a website to go to right now if you want a chance to win a trip to the One Love Gospel Cruise. The package will include airfare, a cabin aboard the Norwegian Dawn cruise ship. All you got to do is register at onelovecruise.com and then click the win tab at the top of the page. To win, you must do it by January 27th at 11:59 p.m. Central. I'll announce the grand prize winner on this show Friday, January 28th. Go to onelovecruise.com, onelovecruise.com, and then click the win tab at the top of the page. You don't want to miss this opportunity for this free trip. Well, it is Monday, and every Monday we're joined by my brother, my friend, editor, and, just the man, Brother Richard Muhammad from The Final Call. Brother, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Tony, good morning. Thank you for having me back, brother. I mean, I sincerely mean it. It's always a pleasure and an honor.
Well, brother, let's talk a little bit about the Arizona shooting and the Dr. King holiday.
I mean, I think, one, this Arizona shooting is so tragic on so many different levels. But I think when you look at where political discourse has been in this country, and not only discourse but acts, what kind of politics has this country been practicing? Right. When you look internationally and you look at the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, when you look at the root fact that when the Bush administration came into office, they came into office with a predetermined idea to go to war and to remake the Middle East. 9/11 became a convenient excuse for that, and some would say a plot to allow it to happen. So when you look at the policies of this country, when you look at as you were saying earlier today, the plight of poor people and the lack of any kind of compassion, I mean, I think we would be hard-pressed to talk about any election in which poor people have even been mentioned, let alone their interests being talked about, protected, or someone who is without being taken care of. There's been the appeal to the middle class and then appeal to, ever smaller slices of the electorate. So one year it was NASCAR dads. Another year was soccer moms. This year it's the blue-collar unemployed workers in Pennsylvania. So what you've seen is really, I would say, a cynical kind of politics that deals with numbers and how to achieve a win in terms of coming into an office, but really a lack of discussion about what is really good for the country morally, what is good for the country economically, what is good even for the cohesiveness of the country. And I think this shooting is indicative of that, along with these very virulent, violent words that we've heard hurled. When you hear people calling the president a tyrant, right. And remember, Mr. Obama has had his death threats have increased over 400%. This is within his first 2 years of office, Warren, 400%. And I think there have been at least four, who have been convicted, I believe, of actual threats against this man.
What's unbelievable about all that, Richard, is this, and I actually said it when I did the interview for the Final Call newspaper, that I was optimistic about 2011, but I was also very worried because I think not only they're going to be attacks at the president. I think it's going to be attacks at everybody who has a voice that's in Black America at this point, because I think they're going to try to tear down Black America to the point where they can cripple it, where this man can't get back in office.
I think Warren, you're very right to be concerned about that, because one, you got to look at the idea. We know we didn't take the country back.
Right.
We know that. But there are literally millions of people who believe that their country has been taken from them, and when they look at Black people, they think that we're the ones that did it. Anytime you can have Republicans and right-wing folks saying that after decades of discrimination, Black farmers have the opportunity to get a measure of justice.
Yeah, they said it's reparations.
Right, they call it reparations. They're not going to get the millions of acres of land back that they lost.
Right.
Their lives are not going to be reconstructed. When you look at somebody like Shirley Sherrod and her father being murdered.
Yep.
So the fact that there's going to be some monetary compensation is a very small measure that these people have scrutinized and done everything they can to keep it from happening. So when you look at that, when you look at people saying the president is not legitimate, he's not a citizen. Well, if he's not legitimate, he's not a citizen, what does that mean you can do to him in their eyes?
Right.
You know, he's a tyrant. But what do you do with tyrants? And as this country came into birth, what was its cry? It was give me liberty or give me death.
Right.
It was a cry against the tyranny of the crown. It was a cry against the British Empire and taxation without representation. So much so that the colonists themselves, those who wanted independence, actually inflamed the other people to support what they wanted. They inflamed it.
And you know what? In 30 years, that won't be the case. In 30 years, it'll be, Black people came here to find a better way of life, because they're rewriting the history as we speak. That would be the thing 30 years from now, because these kids ain't gonna learn the real history unless we teach it to them. Let's switch gears just a little bit. Let's talk about the injustice prevails in Georgia, the article that you guys have about Lena Baker.
This is, I'm sure you've heard about this. This is the only Black woman ever executed in Georgia in the late 1940s. She was held in prison and abused by a white man, and she basically killed the man to get her freedom. She was executed. Later, she was pardoned, but with the pardon, from what we've gotten so far, there was a caveat that saying a manslaughter sentence of 15 years or more, or 15 years would have been more appropriate. We find it to be really outrageous.
Yeah.
And we wanted to tell her story because we think that people have not heard her story and the story of her family and their fight to bring some measure of respect, some measure of justice. She, like I said, she was pardoned some years ago, but there was recently a memorial for her. But we wanted to look at her and look at what she faced, as well as in a way ask the question, how vulnerable are Black women still today? How vulnerable
you know what? It was a study recently conducted, and the study came out and it showed that Black women are overlooked in today's society, meaning that, you know, they did random tests, I think, for like 5,000 people, and they showed them pictures of different people. And this was Black men, Black women. They did with all ethnic groups. And the one group that people could not remember even after seeing their pictures were Black women.
Imagine that, one. I mean, I had somebody tell me recently that, you know, as a Black woman, you know, her job is to carry on regardless of whom or what.
Wow.
Regardless. So she said, you know, there's never a break.
Could she use that Haiti iron? Because if she could use that Haiti iron, you might need to holler at her.
Let's talk about the Haiti iron offline. You know, but she talked about how, you know, I mean, essentially, you know, our women, they just go to work, man, and they fight and they struggle. I'm sure you saw it with your mom and your grandmother. I saw it with my mom and my grandmother. And so if we don't begin to pull together with our sisters, and if we don't understand that the enemy of all of us and the enemy of progress always tries to keep us divided. So
the one thing about the Black woman, too, is we know our Bible, we know that the seed will come from the Black woman.
Come on, brother.
The seed will come from, if you know your scripture, you know, the seed will come from the Black woman.
Hey, Warren, if I may, and I don't want to overstate this, but you know, the minister talked about how when the people are oppressed, that out of the longing of the people come those who are born through women to deliver the people. And I really count you and that number, brother, among those who want to see our people free. So Happy New Year again, and I salute you and your wonderful listeners.
Brother, thank you. Go to finalcall.com, finalcall.com. Pick up the final call from the brothers in the corner. They that big and they educate and empower. Richard Muhammad, talk to you next Monday. All right, Truth Fighters. Always, Richard. 877-373-9766 as we remember Dr. King on his day. Talking to you right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
Stay tuned for the Warren Ballentine Show. Call 1-877-373-9766. 1-877-373-9766. Call the #1 Truth Fighter and stay with News Talk 1090 AM WILD Boston.
Wake up to the Flyjack, Tom Joyner, along with his co-hosts Sybil Wilkes and J. Anthony Brown. There's only one radio station that will start off your morning here in the city of Boston, and that's the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern, only on the Classic Soul and R&B Show. That's News Talk 1090 a.m. WILD Boston, where music and information is power.